So we've talked about how the limit tax would be one simple flat sales tax on goods and services of all registered businesses. So how do we get businesses to register? As I've said, the limit tax is based on the fair tax. So I'm not sure if the fair tax has any particular um, solutions to this issue. Um, Now, there are two ways to incentivize something. There's punitive incentives. For instance, if you don't register your business, you'll be fined and you'll go to jail. But there's also reward incentives. So if you register your business, we will give you dot dot dot. And until recently, I've really been focused on the former, on punitive incentives. But very recently, I've been thinking more about uh, reward incentives and how much better that will be for generating business and for growing the economy. So, what kind of rewards? Of course, we don't want the government to give out free stuff. That tends to be a bad thing. Um, but there are actually two rewards that I thought of that governments can give to businesses and to business owners for registering their business. First off, the money, if you register your business, then the money that you collect from local sales tax can go towards your property tax. It's just one possibility. It wouldn't work for, I believe, New York City, where you pay both a city sales tax and a property tax. Where they're already paying both of those even before the limit tax is passed or the fair tax. Um, so it wouldn't work for that crowd. Um, and then the other reward would be a discount on your property tax overall for registering a new business. So this would get people to register new businesses that aren't already registered. And the first option, the first suggestion would help people who register new businesses or who already have businesses to um, offset the cost of their sales tax. Let's see. So the property tax discount. So let's say that you and I start a business. We're both homeowners. Plus, we buy a property for the business. So now we both have property taxes to pay, and we have property taxes to pay on the property for our business. So let's just say that there's a 10% sales tax that's paid to the local government, the city government or the town government. Um, and then, so yeah, so that 10% does not include sales tax paid to the higher levels of government, county, state, federal. We're not looking at those right now. So let's see, 33% of the sales tax revenue goes towards my property taxes, 33% towards yours, and the remaining 34% would go towards our business property. And we can change those numbers around however we agree on. But you see how the money from the sales tax towards the local government gets divided up and goes towards our property taxes. And then this offsets the cost of us paying our property taxes. So we'd have to pay the rest out of our pockets, um, just as you do right now with property taxes. Um, so let's see. And so the discount itself is for new businesses. Um, so you register a new business, and then you would go and you'd fill out paperwork with your local government. Um, and then you'd be given a percentage to be deducted from your property tax. So that percentage would probably uh, be determined. It would be determined by the town, and they would probably factor in things like the industry that you're in, the projected profitability, and the projected town budget, and maybe a number of other factors as well. Um, so the discount would only be applied if your sales gross more than a certain dollar amount per year. Um, and that discount can be applied every year that the business exists. That's at least the way that I would imagine it would run. Once again, this is all done by the local government, so local governments can definitely try different things, to see what works. But these are all just my suggestions and the things that I've thought of. And of course, as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, how to make this system work better, how it would change the way that we currently do things. I know this is very pie in the sky stuff, but that's the way that it's supposed to be for a little while. We're talking about ideally how the system would work before we start talking practically about how to implement the system. Um, so this gives a perfect incentive for web-based businesses. You think under this system, under the LimiTax system or the fair tax system, if I start a web-based business, what incentive do I have to register my business? The same for people who work for cash, do side jobs for cash. How do we incentivize them to register their business? Also for landlords and tenants, they could have something in their lease to, if I'm a tenant and I start a small business in my apartment, whether it's a web business or I'm running side jobs, I'm doing side jobs for cash. If I register that business, there would be something in my lease where I can get a discount on my rent. If I apply my property tax discount to the property that I'm living in. And the same for commercial landlords. They would get a deep property tax discount if they sign a contract that they would require businesses that rent from them to be registered. So that's another way we can make sure that people who are doing business are registered businesses without using an undue amount of force. So to review, the two rewards that the government should offer is to offset property tax with money from your business's local sales tax, and also to offer a discount on property taxes for registering new businesses. So if you like this video and you want to know how you can help, you can spread the word by sharing this video. You can like our page on Frank Talks and subscribe to us on YouTube. Share your thoughts below. Once again, I know this is really pie in the sky kind of stuff, but we're talking about the ideal, how the system would work ideally Then once we have our ideal, we can start negotiating practically how to implement this kind of system where the government would be limited uh, in the ways that it can tax its citizens. And also join our Patreon. I'm going to have the link in the description, and that will help us get more messages like this out there. Thank you.